And shifting focus to the other big story that we're tracking here on Mirror Now, the fight for the Congress's top job continues to intensify. Now, after Gandhi's issued a diktat on one man, one post, it seems Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has taken a U-turn. Sources suggest that the leader has maintained that the role of the Congress chief is bigger and is integral for the revival of the party. Ashok Gehlot, who until recently was not willing to let go of the Chief Minister's post in Rajasthan, has now decided to forego the post for the party president. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi, who is holding the Bharat Jodo Yatra in Kerala, has ruled himself out of the Congress presidential race. Congress will be issuing a notification for the party president polls today.
What we have decided, जो हमने उदयपुर में डिसाइड किया, वो कांग्रेस पार्टी का एक कमिटमेंट है, तो I expect that commitment will be maintained.
All right, that is what we're getting as far as the presidential polls are concerned within the Congress party. Ashok Gehlot there, in fact, this is what sources are suggesting, that Ashok Gehlot believes that the post of the Congress chief is bigger and is a crucial part for the revival of the party. Remember, Ashok Gehlot was recently unwilling to let go the chief minister's post in the state, but now has decided to do the same. So that, of course, is the big news coming in. So we have two certain contenders as of now, Ashok Gehlot and Shashi Tharoor. Samya is with us on the broadcast for more on this. Samya, Rahul Gandhi ruling himself out. Clearly the stage is set now for a non-Gandhi at the top post. What's happening in Congress? What can we make of Ashok Gehlot's statements?
Well, one thing is very clear, that Rahul Gandhi in a press.
All right, we seem to be having some
कि एक व्यक्ति एक पद का फॉर्मूला जो है वो लागू होना चाहिए और कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष जो होते हैं उस पद पर भी लागू होगा आने वाले समय में। इस बात को उदयपुर में हमने बात कही है। तो अब जैसे गहलोत जी हैं, अगर वो भरते हैं तो क्या लगता है कि एक पद जितनी
नहीं, बात यह है भरने के पहले ये लागू नहीं होता, जब निर्वाचित हो जाएंगे तब लागू होगा।
तो आपका मानना है सर कि जो ये फॉर्मूला है वो लागू होना चाहिए,
सभी के लिए लागू होना चाहिए। कमलनाथ जी ने भी अभी इस्तीफा दिया है सीएलपी से जी, और सभी पर लागू है तो।
All right, those are the reactions coming in from Congress as far as the presidential polls within the Congress party is concerned. So far, we have two contenders that are for sure Shashi Tharoor as well as Ashok Gehlot. However, there are more names trickling in, and the list of aspirations continues to grow. And remember, Ashok Gehlot was skeptical about leaving his chief minister's post earlier. A few days ago, we saw how he was talking about making a last-ditch effort of convincing Rahul Gandhi to take over the Congress presidential post. However, now Rahul Gandhi, in a press conference, making it very clear that he will not be running in the race for the Congress's presidential polls, and he has ruled himself out of the top job. And even sources indicating that Ashok Gehlot now is willing to let go his chief minister's post in Rajasthan in order to take over the top post in the Congress party. He says it's crucial for the revival of the party, and that, of course, remember, had become a big issue as to what will happen back in his home turf in the state of Rajasthan if he decides to become the Congress president. Samya is back with us. Samya, over to you. What's happening in the Congress?
Well, clearly, as far as the internal election the Congress party is concerned, that has garnered a lot of attention, especially because there's going to be a first time in 2 decades or so that a non-Gandhian contest is going to be witnessed. So, where one hand we probably will be seeing Ashok Gehlot, and on the other it could be Shashi Tharoor. There could be other leaders as well. Not ruling out the names of Manish Tiwari over here or any other leader in the fray who would want to come forward and file the nomination. It's only today that the Congress party officially declared the notification that from 24th of September until 30th of September, the nomination window is going to remain open for anybody who would want to come forward and file the nomination. But the larger question that was being discussed is that if at all Ashok Gehlot decides to throw in his hat and test his luck as far as the Congress president elections are concerned, then who is going to replace him as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan? Now, there were several names in the fray already, that of B.D. Kalla, T.P. Joshi, and Dotasra, who is the PCC chief. But the most important name was that of Sachin Pilot. We have witnessed the internal rivalry of the Congress party in Rajasthan being played out in the open, and that has no side has pulled back any punches against each other. But Ashok Gehlot is very keen to hold on to two positions, simultaneously stating that both of them are elected positions. One is that of an elected chief minister, and the other would be that of an elected Congress president. That is something that is now being contested. Remember, it was only yesterday that we had a 2-hour meeting with Sonia Gandhi, in which we were given to understand Sonia Gandhi made her position very clear that she's going to be neutral for all Congress for all probably Congress candidates who will want to come forward for the nomination. And a short while back in the press conference, Rahul Gandhi also made it very clear that the principle of the declaration of the Chintan Shivir, as far as one person, one post, should be upheld. Given that scenario, then Ashok Gehlot will be giving up his post of the chief minister. That is what we are given to understand so far, although Ashok Gehlot himself hasn't really come forward to make that statement as yet, but sources are claiming that he will have to give up on one of the posts. He cannot be holding on to two posts. It is an election-going state and it requires a 24/7 chief minister dedicated to go ahead into election against the BJP. And so does the Congress president's post is going to be a permanent Congress president's post. So there has to be a full-time Congress president who can work towards a revival and the resurrection of the Congress party. Because there was a discontent amongst a section of the Congress leaders who felt those who were intending to even come forward and vote for Ashok Gehlot, when they heard about Ashok Gehlot's statement about holding on to two positions, they were rather upset because they did not want a Congress president who would also be a part-time chief minister. And Rahul Gandhi's press conference also underlined that entire concept of one person, one post, which remains to be seen. When 24th of September, the nominations are going to be left open, how many other such names would be coming into the fray?
Right.
So the notification has just been issued and the nominations are set to begin.
Right, Samya, just one final question before I let you go. The list of aspirants is growing, not ruling out anybody's participation, but there are also reports that Kamal Nath will be joining the list too. How true is that report?
There are going to be several names, that of Mallikarjun Kharge, that of Digvijay Singh, that of Manish Tiwari, that of Prithviraj Chavan, and now, of course, Kamal Nath as well. Now, all these leaders are senior leaders. And because they are seasoned with a serious body of work and experience, all of them essentially are those who would qualify to be the Congress contenders or the Congress president. So not ruling out any name, at the same time, no confirmation coming for anybody. The two names that we can go ahead with is that of Ashok Gehlot and Shashi Tharoor, going by the fact that Ashok Gehlot had a 2-hour meeting yesterday, and even in briefings, he had made it very clear that one last-ditch effort is going to be made to convince Rahul Gandhi to come back as the Congress president. And if that doesn't happen, in that eventuality, then he will be going forward to file his nomination because the post of the Congress president cannot be left vacant. And Shashi Tharoor, because he was there yesterday meeting Madhusudan Mistry, who is the Central Election Authority chief, and he has also made his intention clear that he would want to test his mettle as well. So these are the two names that are safe to go with. In the meanwhile, 30th September is still a long while from now. A lot of development can take place, and this is a developing story that we will be keeping a close track on.
Absolutely. Samya, thank you so much for getting us all those details.